This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. All right, my beautiful people, welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I'm your host, Nyomi Banks. And this month, we're diving deep into the theme of gratitude and abundance, not just as a practice, but as a mindset and a way of being. Well, today's guest is someone whose story is truly a masterclass in resilience, transformation, and turning pain into purpose. He is an author, a speaker, entrepreneur, and a coach who has took on one of the most challenging experiences of his life, and he turned it into a platform for empowerment. But before we bring this amazing guest to the stage, let's take a quick break, all right? It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. By bridging the gap between them all, and we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by. Me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to xnyomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. All right, my beautiful people, please help me welcome Chancellor K. Jackson. He's the author of 14 Days in Beijing, a man who went from being detained in China to becoming a light for others through his words and wisdom. How you doing, Chancellor?
How you doing, Nyomi? Blessings and balance to you. Hey, blessings and balance to everyone that's tuning in right now. Big shout out to the viewers, man. Y'all the real MVPs.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to get into your story. But before we do that, let's just ground ourselves so we can really feel the fullness of this whole conversation. All right. So my listeners, you know what we have to do. We have to close our eyes for a moment right now. Just get comfortable in your position as we just guide it through this moment. All right. Close your eyes if you can and take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. Now exhale slowly. I want you to visualize a warm golden light that's surrounding you. And I want you to feel it settling in your chest, radiating peace, strength, and gratitude. Now, as you continue to breathe, I want you to affirm silently to yourself, I am grateful for this journey. I welcome abundance into my life. And breathe in gratitude. Exhale. And when you exhale, I want you to breathe out tension. Now gently bring yourself back to this present moment. All right, Chancellor, again, welcome. And if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something we do every day, Monday through Friday, just to help ground us real quick before we get into the topic at hand. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing and what life looked like before everything had changed.
Yeah, so born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Had a great childhood. Didn't play football vast majority of my life. I didn't start playing till 8th grade. But that was a huge component to the overall development of who I am and just a part of my identity. I played all throughout high school. I got to play at the next level. I played 4 years down at Stetson University, where I got my bachelor's degree in communication and media studies. After I graduated from Stetson, I landed my first job teaching English to kids in China. So
Nice.
moved to China fresh out of college. I was supposed to do a year, only ended up doing 6 months before things went left, and I was arrested and served 14 days in the Beijing penitentiary. Once I got out, I was immediately deported from the country, came back to America, back at square one all over again, and just had to re-find myself and continue to work in education, fell into coaching football, and started writing my first book, 14 Days of Beijing. And after I published that, it was just it took off.
On from there, it was just on from there. I hear you. You know, your experience. First of all, it sounded like it was great in the beginning, but then all of a sudden, it just got so intense. So this is my question: when you were in that moment, I want to know when you were in that moment, sitting there. Let's say day 2. I ain't even want to talk about day 1. Let's go to day 2. How do you feel when you were in day 2, sitting in that prison? What was your thought pattern then?
Really just trying to make sense of how this thing's gonna work. Like nothing has been explained to me as far as how this process works, what my specific charges are, how long I'm gonna be here, what are the rules of the jail. Nobody knows I'm in here, and right now I'm the only foreigner in the cell full of 14 other Chinese men, none of which I can speak to. So it's just pretty much just the unknown.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying, on what's going to take place or how long or how this thing's going to play out. You know what I'm saying? What all I'm going to have. So it's just, I guess you say a little bit of anxiety, but curiosity at the same time. But most importantly, accountable.
Yeah.
Sure. You know what I'm saying? I definitely was accountable because it's like I constantly knew what I was doing and I knew the repercussions from my decision making. So now the things have hit the fan, and here we are. We ended up in a situation. I can't really get upset with nobody but myself. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to take this to the chin. However, it's gonna play out. I knew I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna have to endure, but I know when it's all said and done, my mental's still gonna be intact. My spirit's still gonna be intact. I'm still gonna be me. It's gonna be a trial of the mind for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's something we talk about a lot here about the mindset, but also we talking about the choices and decisions that we make in life. You know, and sometimes the things that we do, sometimes people want to try to shame us or whatever it is. But for me, I say we need to embrace every action, every choice and decision that we made in life because it truly builds who we are and our character. Just knowing that you were in that prison for 14 days. When I'm looking at you right now, I'm saying that was a moment that you were told to be still because you were moving unaligned on where you were supposed to be. You know what I mean? And so in that process of you sitting there, and I can imagine, and please, I don't want to assume, but I'm just going to say, as you sitting in that room, there was so many downloads, so many messages that was coming to you across in that very room. And then you were able, once you left there, you were able to begin to write that experience from, and let me say this, from a healed place. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, most definitely. You hit the nail right on the head. Yeah, it's definitely, I didn't even catch all of the signs and messages, and foreshadows that I received. It wasn't until I wrote the book and now I'm editing the book that, oh man, that went clean over my head. Oh man, that went clean over my head. I was like, he was giving me signs the whole time. I was just And so in the moment, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it was crazy though. I was like, okay, yeah, the ancestors they were with me for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And just my ability to, it wasn't like I had pen and paper or anything like that when I was in there. All I had was a plastic bowl and a plastic spoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I had literally nothing to keep track of what was going on day by day. So once I started writing the book, it really surprised me how I was able to remember everything in such full detail. Like,
Yeah.
such full detail from the conversations I had to like everything. It was powerful.
It was like a movie, huh? It was like a movie. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, it was like a movie. So tell us about writing that 14-day in Beijing. How did gratitude help you to transform that trauma into something just so powerful, empowering?
Yeah. So like I mean, of course, like I'm going through this because of my decision making, but I felt like it was bigger than that. Like, you know what I mean? It's something really supposed to take away from this experience, but most importantly, I'm supposed to do something with it.
Yeah.
And now, once I got back to America, of course, a lot of people, one, ain't even know I even moved to China. So the slave did know. They thought they thought a year had already passed. Like, dang, bro, it's been a year already. Well, you back? Man, that's crazy. Time be flying. Like, bro, it's only been 6 months. But that just lets me know people living their own lives. They in their own world, so they not really paying attention fully what's going on. But just informing those select few of what just took place and why I'm back in America. I'm talking about jaws dropped, like undivided attention, minds blown. You know what I'm saying? It's like people looking at me different. It's like, okay, I got something on my hands. How can I go about sharing the story to the masses? I don't know, but I figure it out. And one day I was kicking it with one of my good partners, DeMarco Reddins. He was a traditionally published author before we graduated high school in 2014. So he was, hey, bro, you ain't think about writing a book about the experience? I was like, well, that's a good idea. I don't even know where to start. That's a good idea. He took it even further. He took my phone from me, went to my notes section, and left me an outline. And I just started filling in the outline. By me doing that, I caught a feel for how I wanted to go about writing the story. So moved it from my phone to a Google Doc so I could type it up. And it took me about 4 months to get the story written, and then just spent the next 6 months getting it ready for publishing.
Nice, nice. You know, on one of my notes here, just that experience alone, and I can remember what was the basketball player that was overseas?
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, Brittany, you know her. And knowing, just sitting in fear. And I know even though it was only 14 days for you that was in Beijing, but also just being away from, from home, from everybody like that. Now coming back home, was there any type of bitterness towards, the country that had just kicked you out, deported you out? Or was there anything like, like I could have, I should have, I would have, could have, should have?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I was beating myself up. As soon as the cuffs got put on me, I was like, man, see, it's I was hard on myself right then and there. Cause I knew it was over with. Like, this entire journey is over. And I wasn't ready for it to be over. That's the biggest thing I feel like. If I start something, I like to see it all the way through. So if I'm supposed to do a year, I want to do my full year. You know what I mean? And I knew after a whole year in China, I'm like, bro, ain't no telling who I would be, where I'm going to be mentally, physically, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? The whole nine. So, and there ain't no telling what other opportunities might have presented themselves after doing that full year out there as well. So it was definitely like bittersweet. Just because it's like, man, I was having so much fun and enjoying the experience, and then it came to a screeching stop. But at the end of the day, I also know that nothing lasts forever, and all good things come to an end eventually, and that the marathon continues. Most importantly, like this chapter might be done, but a new one is beginning. So
exactly. So let's talk about gratitude. It's easy to feel grateful when things are good, but how do we assess the feeling when life is hard? When you came back home, what was that like for you? Just even getting back into, even into life. And I know you said your friend has said, man, you need to, write a book about this, but what was those emotions going into that,
It really, when I got back, my biggest concern was like, okay, how do I get my money from the bank in China back into my possession. Like that's my biggest thing, because like I was pressing that, like when they was taking me to my apartment to pack up the rest of my stuff. Say, hey man, can we stop by a bank, bro, so I can get the rest of my bread out? I get that, then I'm good. But we just weren't able to. We didn't have enough time to do that, and it was ATMs in the airport, but I could only pull out like so much money per transaction. So I would have had to sat there and did about 8, 9, probably 10 transactions just to get, you know what I'm saying, my bread out, and we just ain't had the time for it. So that was my biggest concern. Like, I got to figure out how to get this bread back. That's first and foremost. Also, I was going through a breakup. Like my whole world came crashing around that time. Like, I done got arrested, I done lost my job, I got kicked out of this country, then got banned from this country, and now I'm losing my girl at the same time. It's like it was a low period. But just being around my boys, my partners, good friends, being around loved ones, definitely helped keep me motivated and driven. I spent a lot of time in the gym. I worked. I'm talking about I was spending hours and hours, days on days in the gym. So just pouring that love back into myself. And then once I got into coaching football, now it's like, okay, now it's bigger than just me. You know what I mean? It's got other people that's dependent upon me. And I got to develop these kids on top of that. So, yeah, it was a process, definitely, once I got back, but I was up for it, and I knew that everything was going to work out.
Yeah.
I just got to cross this bridge, you know what I'm saying? Just one step at a time.
Yeah. Now, with your experience, even with football, but also your experience with what you went through when you were in Beijing, because I really want to talk about the book, The 14 Days of Beijing. What have you, how have you applied that to your coaching style now with the young men that you work with now?
Just an aspect of just pushing through adversity. Adversity is something that everybody is going to face in life, and especially when these boys trying to chase this football dream, you're gonna face adversity.
Yeah.
You face adversity during training, lifting weights, we out running in this hot sun. You're gonna face adversity during the game. You know what I'm saying? We might be on a down or just a losing streak right now during the season. You know what I'm saying? This is another form of adversity. Or you might get hurt, get injured. You know what I'm saying? Right. You're going to face some type of adversity playing this game. And adversity introduces a man to himself. So just being able to see things through and push through when times get hard. Just seeing how much backbone you got. How much character, what's your true character like? You know what I'm saying? Right. During the fog of war is where a true leader thrives. So see what you really made of.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, nice. That was nice. So let me ask you this. Is this your only book that you've published, or have you published other books?
I published more since then. So 14 Days dropped in 2020. Here we are, 2025, and we're 6 books in total. 4 of those books I've wrote. The other 2 I didn't write, but I just helped the authors through the writing process and helped them publish it as well. But yeah, we 6 books in. I have 2 romance novels in addition to 14 Days. And I also just dropped a self-help book in April titled The Power of Becoming: 7 Pillars of Growth and Empowerment. And that's pretty much a book full of quotes and insights centered around 7 core themes: love, discernment, success, happiness, adversity, healing, and confidence. And just through the pages, you'll learn how to re-evolutionize your happiness, amplify your confidence, move with an unshakable sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
Shake limiting beliefs, nurture healthier relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a dope read for sure. And we had a successful launch with that one as well. 14 Days in Beijing is my bestseller, of course. That has done numbers since it dropped, and it still is the most popular story by demand today. But we did have a successful launch with The Power of Becoming as well. It led the charts in 2 different genres. 14 days, I done hit #1 in multiple genres, you know what I'm saying, over 15 times.
Right.
But yeah, that's where we at with it now. And big shout out to the other 2 authors that I've worked with, Anthony McKinney and Tanisha Sattler. Not only was I able to help them through the writing and publishing of their books, but their books went #1 as well. You know what I'm saying? In multiple genres. So
nice.
So for joy. Tanisha, she was 15 years old when she wrote the story, 16 years old when she published it. And not only did she go #1, she held the #1 spot for like 9 straight days. So stop playing with it.
Wow, amazing. We're not talking about adults. We're talking about teenager children that you have reached back to and grabbed them and helping them, allowing them to tell their story and be just creative. That's some good stuff there, Chancellor.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So actually, everything that you've been through, it has definitely had not gone in vain, because honestly, if you had not gone through those 14 days in that Beijing prison, then you wouldn't be living in your purpose.
Thanks.
Really. Yeah. Truly. You know, I love how you're building your brand. How has those challenges served as a foundation for your abundance?
Just honestly, just believing in myself again and refining that passion that football wants. You know what I'm saying? Because football was first love, first passion. I put everything I had into perfecting that and trying to take it as far as I could. Like I said, I ain't started playing football till 8th grade. I'm from Georgia. Anybody that knows about down south Georgia football, it's serious. Most cats been playing since they was 4 and 5. I was late to the game by at least a decade. So I had catching up to do from a physical standpoint as well as a mental standpoint, just learning the game of football. But even though I started late, I still was able to go D1. But that's because I, through my own sure will and efforts and energy of putting everything out for this sport, that's why I was able to make that happen. And I also manifested it as well. I used to say it countlessly and effortlessly when I was a freshman in high school. Like, bro, I don't care about nothing, bro. Fuck what y'all got going on, bro. I'm trying to go D1. I'll go D1. That's all I care about. I just want to go D1. And literally, we made that happen. So when it fast forward to when now football's gone. Hey, Chance, who are you? What's next? Like, what do you enjoy doing, bro? Like, what are you good at? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got to re-identify myself all over again. This ain't an easy pill to swallow, but I was up for the challenge at the same time. It was like, I identified and embodied a student athlete, a football player for a good amount of time, and I did it to the fullest. And now it's like, okay, I got to take all that energy and apply it to something else, or just find football. And I'm like, it's going to be a journey to figure it out, but I'm up for the challenge. And it took all of that going to China, getting locked up, the whole 9, just to be where we are right here, right now. So,
well, that's good. Even with football being a part of your foundation, because it taught you a lot. It taught you discipline. It gave you, the framework on how to make all of this, come to light. To even, there's so many different positions in football. And even though you might train for this one position, that next year you come around, you might be doing a whole nother position. Right. So even in that mindset of going in, that kind of helped you for life. And I don't know if a lot of people on the outside of sports look at it that way. You understand what I'm saying? That sports actually do help you for your life, your life changes and your life growing. I myself play basketball, so I played every position in basketball. You know what I'm saying? Which actually helps you to, kind of turn or reinvent yourself, or, knowing that you are multifaceted in what you do. Definitely. So for our listeners out there that's going through a tough time, maybe they feel stuck or lost or, overlooked, what would you say to them right now?
A quote automatically comes to mind by Nipsey Hussle. And the quote is, long-winded, running through this life like it was mine. Settling, but setting every goal high. 1,000 burpees to the path to my own destruction or success. But what is a mistake without the lesson? You see, the best teacher in life is your own experience. And none of us know who we are until we fail. It's person is defined by their reactions to any given situation. Well, who would you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? Whatever you choose to do, homie, get your heart to it and stay strong.
Nice. That's a nice one. That's a real nice one. It'll hit deep because I felt it. I felt it, and you know why I felt it is because I'm just going through an amazing transformation for myself. I'm having a surgery done that I just got an explant, my breast implants removed, and so I've had that over 20 years of my life, more than over 20 years of my life. But also I've had it throughout my whole entire career. So that is what made me my money, that made me, famous, all of those things. So now it's like now I have to find, well, I found it, but just going through the process of having to find out who you are without certain things that you've had in your life. So again, like I said, that's like reinventing yourself, or better yet, making a full circle around into your natural being. I have this conversation with my therapist here that's on our show, and one question that he asked me, he said, taking them out, what would that do for you? And I sat and thought about it for a second. I said, what it would do, it will make me whole. Meaning that I'm very spiritual grounded and very spiritual connected. And I knew there was something that was missing for myself by being whole, by being able to tell my story, by being able to be in this progress. We got the season of self-love. How can I truly talk about being the season of self-love when I have these implants in my body and I'm not loving and embracing myself in fullness? Word. But also it's disconnecting me to my spiritual core of it, because I have a foreign object inside of my body that's of a choice. It's not something that keep me alive. It's of a choice, And so in that case, I said, you know what? Imagine what I feel like once I take those out, because I'm not at 100. I'm always sick. But once I take these out, and the wisdom and everything spiritual, everything that I got from my experience in life, I'll be at 100 times 100. You know what I'm saying? So even piggyback on your quote from Nipsey Hussle, it's like now I used to be a sprinter for track. I no longer am a sprinter. I run a marathon. I am a long distance runner. Yeah, so I definitely, that's why I said I really love that. And I wasn't even a Nipsey Hussle fan. I really didn't get into, a lot of his things and teachings until probably after he passed away, because it was just in your face. But I'm kind of glad that I'm a little bit older than you. So I kind of was like, wow, this was a deep brother. I kind of understand where he was coming from, from where he was speaking and saying, and kind of took it for some of the things that I do in my life, moving forward. All right. So you know what? Tell me a little bit more about your book, because we didn't really get into it. I want to be nosy, and I want to say, what did you do to get put in jail?
But so it's April 4th, 2019. I'm finna get ready to head. It's a day off for me. I'm finna get ready to head to this little team builder event my company's hosting. Every month they host a list of like 5 or 6 different events that people can sign up for, and that's a way for you to, of course, meet other people within the company, network, you know what I'm saying, just find a community out there in China and stuff like that. So I was going to be meeting some colleagues and friends up there, and I was going to be doing customizing Chinese fans. I was like, okay, that seemed like a cool little thing to do. I'm like, I'm a pregame before I go, though. So I'm in the apartment. I'm drinking some Chinese wine coolers, listening to music, smoking a little cannabis, vibing out, enjoying myself. I get done, get dressed, make sure I got everything I need before I walk out the door, and I hear a knock. Guests are unfamiliar, and I'm just curious to see who it is. I looked through the peephole, and there stood 3 officers from the Beijing police. I instantly got spooked. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what they doing here? Scramble, put everything up, open the door. They come in, question me about drugs. I'm sitting here playing the fool like I don't know what they talking about. Fast forward a little bit, another officer enters the apartment with something in his hand, and they communicate to me that I need to pee into this cup. So it was a drug test right there on the spot. I said, oh, yeah, it's over with. It's over with. Yeah, so do the drug test. Results came back instantly. Now the cuffs is on me. all forms of communication cease to exist from this point moving forward. Bounce around from one precinct to another precinct before I'm taken to the jail where I'm housed. And once I get there, I'm locked up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 15 minutes in one cell, 9 wooden beds, 3 soups a day, and all I had was a plastic bowl and a plastic spoon.
Wow. So they do not play there.
No, not at all.
Wow.
I mean,
So wait, so let me ask you this. Did you know that you were not supposed to be smoking weed or cannabis?
I was fully aware of that. That was the first thing we was going through. They explained all of that. You know what I'm saying? And me just so gullible. I just moving like being an American. I'm like, man, getting locked up in China? That sounds like a crazy story. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? I ain't didn't think much of it after that. And then, yeah, for sure.
Whoa. And I guess what I'm thinking, because here in America, they slap you on your hand and move you along. Okay, move you along. They was like, oh, hell no, we about to get this out of here.
And it was still a slap on the wrist because it's like, if I didn't write this book, nobody would have known this happened to me.
Yeah.
It didn't follow. It's not on my record. It don't follow me nowhere. Like,
oh, it don't?
Like literally, if it wasn't up to me sharing it, but nobody would know this. I went through anything like that, for sure.
Wow. So let me ask, can you go back to China? Can you even go back there?
I was placed on a 5-year ban, so my ban ended last year. So technically, I can go back and visit China if I want to. Would I go back? I probably wouldn't go out of my way, but if opportunity presented itself again, for sure, most definitely. And I would document it this time. Have great content for the book to, you know what I'm saying, further that. So yeah.
Yeah. So my next question to you is what can the listeners get out of reading your book?
Entertainment, as well as enlightenment, knowledge of a different culture. And then there's also other cultures within that story as well, with Brazilians and Chinese folks, Russians, you know what I'm saying? So you learn about a bunch of different cultures, you know what I'm saying? While we underneath the same roof. Patience, resilience, gratitude, faith. It's a lot that one can take away from 14 Days of Beijing. And you also get some good laughs in there. Like, just, I'm a Sagittarius, so I have a natural sense of humor. I got a great sense. So even my style of writing, like, it'll be moments I'm just being myself. That's like, okay, you'll find yourself laughing in this serious moment, even though it's, you know what I'm saying, it's probably not a good moment to be laughing at. But I more than likely was probably chuckling myself when I was actually going through it. So yeah.
Okay, so this is my last question to you. What is your meaning of Chancellor Jackson?
A leader, natural born leader, a goat, God amongst men, a breath of fresh air, and infinite wisdom and transcendent calmness.
Nice. Well, this was a really good and quick interview here.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you for having me.
Yes, no problem. Again, thank you so much for you to just share your heart and your wisdom and just your whole story. This is I'm smiling because I'm imagining you when you looked through that peephole and you saw those 3 officers. Right? Did you say, "Mama"? Oh, yeah. All right. So let my listeners know, where can they find you? Where can they find your work? Your book, everything that you have to offer. Go ahead and let it go. What can you find you at?
The best search engine we have, Google Chancellor K Jackson. Everything you need will pop up from my social media accounts, my books, which are available on Amazon, as well as my website. My website will pull up. All the podcast interviews I've done will pull up. Everything you need is a one-stop shop. Just Google Chancellor K. Jackson. Any of my aspiring authors out there, get in touch with me. I have services, courses, ebooks. I got a bunch of things locked and loaded for you. You know what I'm saying? So we can turn your book into a bestseller. Yeah, man, y'all tap in with me. Let's do it.
I might have to tap in with you. I might have to tap in with you myself.
For sure. We produce bestsellers here at Correlate Publications LLC. So
I know that's right. I know that's right. All right, my beautiful people. This has been a really good, a good and fun show. I didn't know if it was going to be this fun. I was looking at your reviews. And I was like, oh wow, this is going to be a deep one, and it was deep, but we kind of have fun with it. It kind of, I guess you're used to now talking about your story now, so it kind of just rolls off your tongue.
thanks.
Yeah. All right, my beautiful people. Y'all go follow Chancellor right now, grab his books and connect with him because his energy is amazing. And next week, we are diving into From Scarcity to Plenty, Manifesting Abundance for Life, where we explore on how from limiting beliefs and to open your heart to receive more. Again, thank you all for just joining us here on the Season of Self-Love. And have an amazing, amazing day. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer.